it's completely disheartening when you first start, and you think it's something to do with your performance, but to be honest, there are always going to be people there that don't like change, they don't want you to be there, and you just have to put up with it.
The dog days are over, the dog days are done, the horses are coming, so you better run. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father, run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all your love and your longing behind, you can't carry.
Well, I got into acting because my sister was really into it, my family's into it, but my auntie's a advertising executive, Saatchi and Saatchi, so she got me an agent when I was a little kid. I didn't really know anything about acting, wasn't too interested in it. Then I auditioned for a commercial and I got the part. I've liked it, and then I've done lots of school plays and stuff like that. And then this came along and I've learned so much about acting, and yeah, Shorty's a really good training ground for that.
Well, I danced for years and always loved doing my dancing shows and stuff. My mum and dad actually met doing musicals together, so it's in my blood.
I'm George Becker and I was Logan on the cast of Step Day. Can I go now? I've got to meet Frankie at the pool.
Who? Logan's new girlfriend.
Shut up.
You go, honey. I love you.
Bye!
Cool. You wanna go over
I
there?
did this movie called Rest for the Wicked, and I did this like snippet of like Power Rangers.
Oh, cool.
And I've done a couple of ads that were kind of boring, but you know, yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, that's an issue.
One cool thing about being in Shorty is that, what's a good and a bad thing is that you're recognised and you're in the public eye and stuff, but in New Zealand, you know, you're not really famous enough to be considered a celebrity. So like, people will come up to you and be like, oh, you're that guy on Short Street, eh? I'll be like, yep. They'll be like, oh, it's a pretty shit show. And like, I just don't know how to respond to that, because it's like, that's the type of thing that would happen in New Zealand. I don't think would happen anywhere else in the world. People have the courage to come up to a person in the public eye and tell them that what they do is pretty shit. Or I don't like. That's not an example. There's a lot of like admiration, and there are a lot of nice people out there. But yeah, that's a common reaction.
You always have to be kind of wary of not wanting to look like you're bragging about it, because I think people and friends like expect you to almost. And so with Molly, obviously it's brilliant because we know that we're not, you know, it's easy to be able to talk about it without feeling guilty. And most other friends are absolutely fine with it as well. You know, they get super excited by it and watch and support. Yeah, I mean, working in a professional environment has definitely like matured me, I think. I mean, the fact that we are younger, and like the fact that I was brand new to TV when I started, I was always kind of, you know, to an extent babied, and like we were treated as younger ones, and like but like watching the older actors and watching everyone in their work environments is just totally given like an insight on adult life, and so you kind of aspire to it. And I used to try my hardest to kind of mimic what everyone else does, and
At school, like some of them like crowd me, it's like kind of annoying, but you know, they're just like, yeah, you're like really cool, you're on Step Day. It was like, yeah. Yeah, but it's really
Do you think you are cool because you're on Step Day?
Oh,
or
you know,
do they
yeah.
just sort of...
yeah. Well, you know, it's pretty cool to be on a show, eh?
Dead end, mate. Dead end. Oh, just turn out, you sloth. Okay, he's not turning. It's gonna be the climax of my driving career. Usually, if you're being targeted in a schoolyard or something, it's one-on-one, and it's often directly to you by someone. And when you're in the public eye, cyberbullying's a really easy outlet for people just to gang up on you. And I don't know how I really felt about that. I was shocked because no one had ever paid me that much attention. Like I'd never really been bullied, and so it's like, okay, but I actually had to tell myself that it wasn't me that was being bullied, it was my character. But for ages I was kind of feeling shit. I was like, should I change something about myself? Is there something wrong with me? I know there are probably many things wrong with me, but yeah.
I've been waiting all night for you to tell me what you want. I've been waiting all night for you to tell me what you want. Tell me that you need me. I've been waiting all night for you to tell me what you want. Yeah, want, yeah, want, yeah, want, yeah, want, yeah, want, 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 want. I've been waiting all night for you to tell me.
My name's Jay Saucy. I was an actor from the time I was 4 years old, and now I'm a chaperone, so I look after young actors when they're on set.
Yep.
I don't have very many.
You don't have very many. You got that scene in the kitchen though, don't you?
Yeah. I got the one in my room, don't I?
Oh, yep. The one where you just have to pretend to be asleep.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's so easy
No, it's really hard.
Pretending to be asleep.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Trying not to let your eyes flutter.
I think the most important thing is to realise that they are a very small part in a very big thing, and they have one role to do, and if they focus just on that role and what they're doing, then that's the best thing that they can bring to set, and try and understand that everybody else has got a very specific job and thing that they're focusing on. And yeah, that's basically it. Like, if you sort of try too hard to do other people's jobs, you can sometimes do something wrong or whatever, but it's a very collaborative effort. Like, making a TV show is very collaborative, and your part in that is just a small part in something that's very big, and you've got to kind of try and remember that it's not all about you, it's about getting this whole thing right, and your little part in that is all you need to worry about, really.
Shorty was quite a stepping stone in my personal development and the development of my maturity, because I was working in a professional environment with other adults, which was a first for me because Shorty was my first job. So that was a really positive and negative experience at first, because I found it to be quite a fast pace, not a lot of humour, not a lot of levity in that kind of environment, but then I quickly learned that this is how it had to be for the show to run cohesively and people to get along. So it taught me how to communicate with adults and conduct myself in a mature manner. If it wasn't for Shorty, I don't think I would have had this kind of experience. I think this is the best job a teenager could have.